Would you stay still for 1 minute, idiot? Oh yeah, it stings. Well, why don't I just let your arm fall off? That's what I thought. Now it's only going to hurt even worse if you keep moving like that, okay? So just try to think of something else. Try to keep your mind off of the stinging. Sorry, I know I got a bit too much in there that time. That one was on me. All right, just tell me about your day. Have you spoken with anyone about how they're doing? It has been a month now. A full, complete month since... Well, I don't even need to tell you. You know far better than I about what all happened. You haven't spoken with anyone? Well, did you speak with them yesterday? How'd they seem to be handling it? Right, of course. No, I'm not judging or anything. In fact, that's kind of the reaction I assumed they would have. It is something that affects them very closely, doesn't it? Or I guess it was something that did affect them. Well, I guess you do make a good point there. It is going to affect them for the rest of their lives, isn't it? Hard to believe. Hard to believe all of that really happened. No, it isn't hard to believe because I wasn't there. It's just... it all sounds so horrible. I can't believe that one person could truly be responsible for something so monstrous. I know that there was a reason for it all. I know that, but there had to be some other way. Thinking things through, there had to be another way to go about doing things. If you have your reasons, you should share them with someone else. You should share them and then try to work things out in a way that doesn't involve killing so many people. Don't you think? I know that certain things would have remained the same and they would have remained horrible if you'd found another solution, but still, so much horror could have been avoided and I wouldn't have had to spend every waking minute that you were gone just worrying myself sick, worrying myself ragged that I would never see you again. No, I'm not going to cry again. I might cry again. I was so scared. I was so scared that I would never see you again. I was so scared that if something did happen to you, no one would even be around to tell me. No one would be around to help me get through it. Worse still, I was worried that I would have to go through labor and being a mother all on my own. I was worried that I would be alone. I know that I still would have had the kids, but it's different. It's different when it isn't someone you can rely on for support. And I know that some people rely on their kids for support, but I couldn't place that burden on them when they would have been so young. They would have been far too young to understand what was going on. They would have grown to hate me if I'd done that. If I'd had to make that choice. And I'm glad that I never will have to make that choice. But still, I resent the fact that I ever had to worry about that. And I know it's selfish in the grand scheme of things. I know it's selfish considering what everyone else has gone through, what everyone else has lost. I still have you. I still have you. But there's something I never told you. Something that I didn't want to stress you out with. And I know that we've talked about this. We've talked about how I can tell you what's going on and how I can tell you what's wrong. But with everything that was happening, I knew that you'd worry yourself sick if I told you what had happened. I went into false labor. I started having contractions, and I thought that my water was going to break, but it didn't. I went to see one of the medics, and it turns out that it was false labor caused by stress, and she told me that if I continued worrying about you the way that I was, I could risk going into preterm labor, and our babies, they were so weak and underdeveloped at that point that if I had, they wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have lived long enough to see you come home. So I just put it out of my mind. I just went through each day, and I carried a picture of you with me. I was doing that before, but I carried it with me, and I talked to it. I held it close when I wanted to hug you, and it felt like you were really there for a while. I never washed your pillow. I know that sounds gross, and Levi has certainly scolded me for that by now, but I didn't wash it because it still smelled like you. I'd hold it at night, close my eyes, and if it weren't for the missing beat of your heart, I would have closed my eyes and I would have believed that you were right beside me. I would stay up late at night and talk to you. I'd tell you when the babies kicked and when they were relaxing and resting. I would look up from my knitting because I made baby blankets for the kids, and I would expect to see you sitting in the chair across from me. But it was just that picture. And every time reality struck me, it nearly knocked the wind out of me, and I would start crying. I know that it's over now. I know that you're here now, but I'm so scared. I'm so scared every time I wake up and every time I look up from my work to see you. I'm scared that I'm just going to see that picture. That I'm just deluding myself and you're really gone. I'm so scared. I know you're here. I know you're alive. And I know that you're not going anywhere anytime soon. But I can't help it. Every time I open my eyes, I'm so scared. And every time you say that you have something to tell me, I'm scared that you're going to say you're leaving me again. And I know I shouldn't worry about that anymore. You're here. even if you were going to go back out, you're injured. You can't go back for a while. But I still worry. I know. I know that you'd come back to me if you had to leave again. But I can't get over that fear of losing you, of wondering if I'm never going to see you again. Okay, I'm listening. What is it? I know you love me. I know you'd move heaven and earth to get back to me if something happened. But still, I'm always going to... No, I'm fine. It was... just a really bad kick, I think. Marlowe's been moving quite a bit more recently. And Sasha, she's taken to making me nauseated more often, which I certainly appreciate. Oh, that feels more like a really bad cramp, but no, it isn't that. I know that it's been a few months and that I am due to go into labor any day now, but it isn't that, okay? It is still a bit too soon, and the due date isn't for another 2 weeks. They're fine. They're just getting a bit restless is all. I'm sure. Look, you're right about a lot of things, but not about this, okay? I think I know my body a bit better than... Please tell me that I am not seeing a puddle on the floor right below where I'm standing. I know my water just broke. Shut up. Ah. Okay, so those are contractions then. Oh, God, they hurt way more than I thought they would. I'm fine. I'm sure that I'm fine. I need to get to bed. And while I am going through this, I am going to keep myself strong by remembering how much I hate when you are right.